A hearty good morning to all. From a stepping stone course book, I'll explain a lesson for you today. So turn page number 54. In a page number 54, we have lesson 7, the story of Sadako Sasaki. Before sinking in the lesson, I would like to tell some facts related to our lesson 7. Okay? The two atom bomb explosions over Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 6 August 1945 is the first and only time that nuclear weapons have been used during a war. The first one dropped over Hiroshima was a uranium-based weapon named Little Boy. The second one, dropped over Nagasaki, was a plutonium-based bomb named Fat Man. Most of the deaths in those initial days were due to the blast, acute radiation poisoning, and the firestorm that followed. The cancer risk went up by 42% for those who were exposed to large doses. The incidence of leukemia among the survivors went up 5 to 6 years after the bombing. So, today we are going to read and know the story of a little girl, Sadako, one of the survivors who developed leukemia a few years after the bombing. Alright? The event took place in Hiroshima, which is in Japan, soon after World War II. It was a global war that lasted from 1939 to 1945. Before starting the lesson, let me tell you about the characters of this story. There are 5 characters in our lesson 7. First, Sadako. Second, her parents. Third, her siblings. Fourth, her classmates. And fifth, her friend Chizuko. Let's step into the lesson. Welcome back to the lesson, the story of Sadako Sasaki. Sadako was born into the Sasaki family during the World War II. Her father was in the army while her mother kept the barber shop running. Now, let me tell you the horrible event of the early morning of 6 August 1945. Sadako, her grandmother, her mother and brother were having their breakfast. Alright? Then suddenly there was a brilliant white flash brighter than 1,000 suns which shook everything. At a time, Sadako's soup and rice split all over the floor. Houses were seen burning everywhere. In this situation, how could Sadako and her family be left over without any harm, isn't it? So, they too were thrown around. Sadako and her mother escaped unhurt, but unfortunately, her brother and grandmother were injured. While fleeing, her grandmother returned to get something. Later, she was never seen again. Okay? Now, Sadako, her mother and brother were helped onto a boat to escape the fire. This was the heart-wrenching point when the black rain began to fall. It left some black marks on Sadako's clothes. It was a remarkable thing to be pointed that, due to the black marks, Sadako's body was affected later. Next, when the war ended, they returned and things got back to normal. Okay? Sadako's family now included 2 younger sisters. She helped with the housework and loved singing. Not only this, she was the fastest runner in her class. So she became a part of her class relay team. Alright? Her team won. But as she finished the race, she felt dizzy. When she felt a little better, she practiced hard to improve her speed. But the dizzy spell kept on following her. One day, it so happened, while running in school, she fainted. Later, it was identified with leukemia, an effect of the bomb dropped 10 years ago. So, she was admitted in the Hiroshima Red Cross Hospital. Her friend Chizuko, while visiting her in hospital, brought her a crane made from folded gold paper. Then she told her that, as the legend went, if one made 1,000 such birds, one could make a wish. Alright? So, before Chizuko left, 23 cranes had been made. But what happened to Sadako? She kept on making the cranes. Okay? For this, the nurses helped her put them up, and the patients and nurses sent her their old newspapers. Although Sadako got worse with frequent fever and headaches, she continued and made 644 cranes when she breathed her last. Her classmates made the remaining 356 cranes and buried them with Sadako. Beside this great work, they collected money. Next, what did they do? They erected a statue of Sadako, a golden crane in her outstretched arms, in the Hiroshima Peace Park. The statue was erected in memory of Sadako and all the children who were killed by the atom bomb in the World War II. Their wish is engraved on the base of the statue. This is our cry. This is our prayer. Peace in the world. In this way, Sadako lives on in the hearts of people for a long, long time. Our lesson is over. Till then, keep on learning. Take care. Thank you.